So I don't believe the United States is a racist country. If you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind.
Finally, he said something to the effect of, look, if we have to create stories in order to bring attention to what's happening, the media, he admits they made it up, right? As opposed to, and if you listen to the full clip, he says, by drawing attention to what's happening on the ground, it's just, as this line goes online, you don't hate the media enough. Go ahead.
You remember Alternative Facts with Kellyanne? They did the same thing. She wasn't saying you make up fictions and pretend they're facts. You bring other facts to bear in the debate that are being ignored. And that's what he was saying. And I think it was in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson of this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese. They all things considered, I think people would prefer Haitian migrants to come and take the geese off the golf course, right? So it's pets, it's the cats and dogs has become the standard. Geese clearly don't matter.
I mean, I read online they're protected in Ohio, so
calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants.
Now, me and you both know that he said what he said, and he said it with the hard ER, Haitian N-words. So now, Haitians, you've been integrated into into the fold of the N-word hard ER. But no, this has just been a year of exposure. People are getting exposed left and right. And this was not a slip. This is how he talks in his home. This is how he talks with his family and friends. Kelly, she made him feel right at home. So it came right out the way he normally says it. And then he tried to catch himself. So yeah, this is how he talks about Black people. This is how he talks about Haitian immigrants. And this is how he talks about Black Americans as well. He drops the N word hard ER. I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. I think there's a considerably numerous amount of Black people who would be surprised at how they talk behind closed doors, if you only knew. I recently experienced a microaggression from a colorless Karen. They are just, it's so weird because they say things like this and do things like that. But you notice they always want to be in your energy. It's like they cannot stand you. And you feel very happy about that, because if they can't stand you, they don't want to talk to you. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to be around them. It works out for everyone. But then it's like they're drawn to you, like a cat that's drawn to the very person who doesn't want to pet them or doesn't like them. And they say these off the wall things, trying to trigger you, trying to get you upset, because they are literally obsessed with you. But they loathe you at the same time. It is so freaking weird. But yeah, this was not shocking. It was funny, and people should remember that, about him. And, do with the information what they will and act accordingly, because that's disgusting. And nobody really came after him for saying it. But oh my God, the ish people, if you say something and not even really pertaining, they'll find a way to loop themselves in and call it anti-Semitism. Oh my God, yeah. You have to laugh and keep from crying, but I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about the situation. What do you think about Rich Lowery and him calling Haitians the nig hard ER? And I'll see you in the next one.
So I don't believe the United States is a racist country. If you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind.
The latest example, Louisiana Republican Congressman Clay Higgins, this guy. Now, he doesn't have much of a record of accomplishment in the House, but today he certainly got noticed. This is what he posted on social media. Quoting the congressman now, LOL, these Haitians are wild, eating pets, voodoo, nastiest country in the Western Hemisphere, cults, slapstick gangsters, but damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, filing charges against our president and VP. All these thugs better get their mind right and their ass out of our country before January 20th. So a couple things to unpack here. Voodoo, by the way, is a streaming service that's owned by Fandango. He obviously meant the religion voodoo, but just knows nothing about it. More importantly, he is slurring an entire country and everyone from that country. Men, women, and children, people who are in this country legally and Americans of Haitian descent. He seems particularly riled up that a Haitian American organization would have the temerity to have taken legal action. Damned if they don't feel all sophisticated now, he tweeted. Well, late today, he took down that tweet, and House Speaker Johnson said that Higgins regrets the post.
He was approached on the floor by colleagues who said that was offensive. He went to the back. I just talked to him about it. He said he went to the back and he prayed about it, and he regretted it, and he pulled the post down. That's what you want a gentleman to do. I'm sure he probably regrets some of the language he used, but, you know, we move forward. We believe in redemption around here.
Yeah, he went to the back and he prayed real hard about it, and he regrets it. Nevertheless, House Democrats brought a motion to censure the congressman, which drew this objection from Majority Leader Steve Scalise.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Louisiana seek recognition?
First of all, the tweet has been deleted already and removed, but I object
For
to
what purpose
to the motion. And if we want to go through every comment and tweet from the other side, we'll be happy to do it.
Gentleman has not been recognized.
The censure motion has been pushed back until after the election. Now, Clay Higgins' language might surprise you, but it's not difficult to figure out the source of his inspiration about Haitians eating their pets.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Of course, no evidence that has been debunked. But again, these are not original ideas Congressman Higgins is coming up with. Like when he said they better get their asses out of the country, we all know where that came from, too.
Do you think Springfield will ever be the same? I don't think. The fact is, and I'll say it now, you have to get them the hell out. You have to get them out. I'm sorry. To get them out. Can't have it. Can't have it. They've destroyed it.
Now, before Congressman Higgins was in Congress, he was in local law enforcement in Louisiana. That's right. He had the power to arrest people. And if you read up on him, you'll see he has something of a track record on outrageous statements and other things. As the co-founder of Harvard University's Nieman Media Lab discovered, the congressman is cited in a newspaper article in the Bayou Brief back in 1992 when he was voting for former KKK Grand Wizard David Duke to be the governor of Louisiana. Now, back then, there were a lot of people who said they just didn't believe that Duke was the racist he was, being made out to be in the liberal media, and they were going to vote for him. But apparently not Clay Higgins. He knew full well and voted for him anyway. He told a reporter, quote, regardless of the fact that David's a homeboy and all that, the boy's a Nazi, and that's a real problem. And then the reporter noted that Mr. Higgins voted for Mr. Duke anyway in the governor's race. Joining us now is Congressman Stephen Horsford, Democrat of Nevada and chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. Congressman, thanks for being with us. When you read this post from the congressman, what was your initial reaction?
Anderson, thank you for having me on. When I read it, I thought of the Haitian immigrants, Americans all throughout this country, those in Springfield and in my district in Nevada and all across the country who are living today in fear, who feel harassed, who feel singled out and targeted by the former president, Donald Trump, by Senator J.D. Vance, by Representative Higgins. And it's this type of racist intolerance, this divisive rhetoric that must stop. It's why I have filed a resolution to censure Representative Higgins. It's time to turn the page, as the Vice President Kamala Harris has said, against this divisiveness that pits one group of Americans against another.
Congressman Higgins has told CNN that he stood by his comments, adding, quote, it's all true. I can put up another controversial post tomorrow if you want me to. I mean, we do have freedom of speech. I'll say what I want. He also said, quote, it's not a big deal to me. It's like something stuck to the bottom of my boot. Just scrape it off and move on with my life. Speaker Johnson claims he prayed about it and regretted it and took it down. Maybe he had another talk with Jesus and decided he's standing by it. The censure motion, that's now off the table till after the election? I mean, is that kind of finished?
No, it's not. And it's not about the next election. It's about the fact that this type of divisive, racially charged, hateful rhetoric needs to stop right now. There are children who are Haitian immigrants, who are Haitian Americans, who do not feel safe going to school because they are targeted right now. My colleagues, Representative Sheila Sherfilis McCormick and Frederica Wilson and Ayanna Presley and Maxwell Frost, who are members of the Haitian Caucus, joined with the Congressional Black Caucus and other members just earlier this week to push back on J.D. Vance and these made-up stories. That it's not even true what they're saying. And it's time for this to end. But guess what? It's this type of divisiveness that is actually tearing our country apart.
I understand that according to sources who witnessed the interaction, you and Congressman Higgins had a heated exchange on the House floor. Can you say what did he tell you when you talked to him?
Well, I was supporting my colleagues who were trying to compel him to understand how his words are affecting the lives of actual people today. People who contribute to our communities, who are entrepreneurs, who are nurses and doctors, people who don't deserve to be targeted. Let's just start with that. They didn't do anything wrong. And I asked him specifically to remove his post. And he's like, I'm going to pray about it. What do you need to pray about? Just do what is right and stop this hateful rhetoric that is causing people to feel targeted. He told me no. And that is when I said, if you refuse, I will take this to the floor. We will move for a resolution to censure you. And that is exactly what we did. And sadly, the Republican leadership were more focused about silencing me than holding him accountable. And he used his official platform, the property of the House of Representatives. He probably thought he was posting on Truth Social, but in fact, he told everyone exactly what it is he believes. We are going to follow through on this. It is not about the next election. It is about everyday people in America feeling targeted. Today, it's the Haitians. Who will it be tomorrow? Will it be you?
Well, you know, what's interesting about this is, I mean, you know, he, in the statement to CNN, he certainly seems sort of proud of this, or his bluster, which is, he's made a career of it when he was in law enforcement. He's sort of, you know, being the tough-talking sheriff guy, despite kind of moving around a lot from different departments. But this is just, I mean, there's a long history of this in this country and in many countries of demonizing immigrants, of, I mean, it was Irish, it was Italians, you know, in the early days of mass immigration to the United States. I mean, there have been people like this throughout our history who have, I mean, said exactly these same things. It's remarkable that, you know, that this continues, that in this day and age, this still, and I guess it continues because it works. It works to demonize a group like Haitians. Clearly, Donald Trump thinks it works. J.D. Vance thinks it works because that's why they're continuing to do it. And this guy thinks it works too.
Okay, so I wanted to stop it right there because the video is almost over. I'll put a link in there if you want to finish watching it out, but it's practically over. It's only 10 minutes, so I stopped it at 9. I didn't want to go into what he was going to segue into, but what I love to death is when they say our country. I love that Euro-Americans think that the United States of America is their country. Now, I would love to see the documentation of ownership because they are bold and proud with it. We all know pride comes before the fall. And looking at his picture, he looks like he can tie a noose. The biggest thing is there are many that think like him. He's a flagrant racist. He had a talk with Colorless Jesus, then stated that he shouldn't have said that about his black brothers and sisters in Christ. Now he has to have another talk with Colorless Jesus, and he said after that second talk that he can say what he wants, and I guess he has to go to Colorless Jesus for a third time, and we'll see what Colorless Jesus tells him then. How righteous and holy of him. This is confusing. 2 different outcomes. After talking to Colorless Jesus, I thought God was not the author of confusion. Interesting. But what really gets me is people are saying that this is colorful language and demonizing migrants. But hey, you know what I say? Hey, welcome to America, where the European American is off the chain. Now you don't get to sit afar and call Black Americans lazy, or we complain too much, or we talk too much about race, and we're not, you know, pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, and you believe in that BS. Now these people are starting to attack you. That is people from the islands, people who are from the continent. Now you're about to get that work. Now you're going to be understanding what we say when I say they see you the same way. They don't see you. They don't care where you come from. As long as you have some deep melanin in that skin and you have some woolly hair, you're on the menu. You're on the menu. And I'm not laughing at this because this is funny, because this is horrible, because nobody is sitting up here talking about the Haitian children that have to go to school and be bullied and harassed, or people who are being bullied and harassed in life, the way they were talking about the Ish people. You know, they couldn't go on campus and get their education because they were so scared because of the anti-Semitism. What about this anti-Haitian hate? There is no anti-Haitian hate bill or hotline for them to call with everything that is going on, because I know they're being threatened. Basically, he literally, Clay, is that his name? Yeah, Clay Higgins threatened the Haitian people, saying they need to get out of this country before January, before Trump gets in the office. But you see, they do not have that same rhetoric, because he was about to say, oh, you know, the Irish went through this, the Italians went through this, all that. Okay, they went through some things, but not like this. They're always trying to compare and conflate things that they can't. This is pure anti-blackness. This is a totally different level of hate, because you can see, I even remember when they were crossing over and they were on horses and they were like beating them. Like, who the does that? But yet you have these immigrants coming from Europe. You have the Ukrainians coming over here, which my interaction with them is I don't care for them, because they are all over the place. They get in the way and they're very fucking annoying. But they come over here and they are just giving the world, and they are giving everything that they could possibly need. And nobody is on a fucking horse beating the shit out of them. What? They get refuge, they get peace because of the color of their skin. So I hope this is a lesson to some of those who don't understand the fierceness and the amount of violence that these people can have just because they put on a mask. These European Americans, they will take that mask off so fast and come after you. Now you get a little taste of what it's like here in America dealing with this. What we've dealt with our whole entire lives. This is how disgusting it is. They're showing their ass, they're showing their flat ass, and they're showing their true colors, or their true colorlessness. But yeah, when Trump said, you know, they're eating the pets, they're eating the dogs and the cats, I was like, wow. So you just went ahead and said that, and you didn't fact check that, because I personally heard that before the debate. There was somebody on here on YouTube saying this was happening, and I was like, I haven't heard anything about that. I'll wait. That's why I usually wait to see if anything comes out, because everybody wants to be the first to get the story out, and then you have to retract and things are not true. So yeah, and people ran with that narrative, and they were just being so offensive to people. But yeah, this is the sentiments of those who are in powerful places. They don't like you if you are Black American. They don't like you if you are Black from the islands. They do not like you if you're a Spanish-speaking Black. They don't, or Afro-Latino or Latina, and they don't like you if you're from the continent, period. But I'll go ahead and leave it right here. Let me know what you think about this. And that clearly racist dude looked like he could play the villain in a slave movie, like the most brutal slave owner. That's him. I think he's a descendant. Somebody needs to look in his past, but I'll see you in the next one.